if you're facing a case involving alimony, regardless of whether you be the party paying the alimony or the party receiving the alimony. You don't want to make any mistakes about something this important. So one of the questions I get quite frequently as a Georgia divorce attorney is about alimony and how it's calculated. In Georgia, alimony, also known as spousal support, is a financial provision that's designed to address the economic disparities between divorcing spouses. And believe it or not, there is no alimony calculator. Alimony is determined by the court using a number of nuanced factors that I'm going to get into in a moment, so stay with me. Compare this non-specific calculation to child support, where the incomes of the parties and other factors such as daycare costs and insurance costs for the kids all go into a worksheet which grinds it all up and it pops out a number. That's your child support payment. You might think that there'd be some similar formula for alimony, right? Nope. Alimony in Georgia is not designed to be an exit prize for surviving years of marriage. What it is designed for is to help the divorcing spouse with the lower financial means to be able to make the transition from the life that they had as a married person to the life that they're now going to have as a divorced single person. Let's talk about the 5 primary factors that influence alimony calculations in Georgia. The first is financial resources and needs of each party. So alimony calculations in Georgia put a lot of emphasis on the financial conditions of each party coming out of the marriage. The court aims to achieve a balance that enables both individuals to maintain the same standard of living or something reasonably close to it as what they enjoyed during the marriage. So the second factor that the court uses in determining alimony is the duration of the marriage. Short-term marriages may result in limited alimony awards, if any, while longer marriages typically involve more substantial considerations. Georgia courts realize that people who've been married for a long period of time may require more extensive financial support on an ongoing basis to make that transition into post-divorce life. This can affect both the amount of alimony as well as the duration of the payments of alimony. The third factor in calculating alimony is the standard of living during the marriage. Maintaining the standard of living established during the marriage is a very important goal in alimony calculations. The court considers the lifestyle to which both spouses have become accustomed and then strives to ensure that the lower earning spouse can maintain a similar lifestyle after the divorce. However, it's not a free ride. In many alimony awards, there is a step down that gradually reduces the alimony payment to encourage a spouse receiving it to work on creating an income for themselves. As I said before, alimony is meant to assist in the transition. It's not meant to be an exit prize that lasts forever. The fourth factor in calculating alimony is contributions to the marriage. So contributions made by each spouse to the marriage, both financial and non-financial, can play an important role. Factors such as homemaking, child rearing, and supporting the other spouse's career can be considered when determining alimony. Now, many times a spouse who did the things I just mentioned has foregone their own opportunity to build a career for themselves. So when they find themselves getting divorced later on down the road, the courts typically acknowledge that these contributions are valuable, and that can impact the award of alimony both in terms of the amount and the duration. The fifth factor that the courts use in alimony calculations is the earning compatibility and the employability of the spouse requesting alimony. So the court takes a pretty practical approach here and assesses what's the earning capacity of the spouse asking for alimony. The court also looks at the remaining time until Social Security, as well as how many more years the paying spouse will be working until they reach Social Security age. All of these can also play a role. So as you can see from the 5 factors I just discussed, there's not really any way to put all this into a formula, have it crunch the numbers, and then have it pop out a number. It really does take a case-by-case analysis. There are many myths as well about alimony in Georgia. I'm going to address some of those right now. So the first myth is that alimony is always permanent. Well, contrary to popular belief, alimony is not always permanent. Temporary or rehabilitative alimony may be awarded to provide support until the recipient spouse can become self-supporting, and then it ends. Another myth is that adultery always affects alimony. Although adultery can be a factor in divorce proceedings, it does not automatically result in a denial of alimony. There are very specific requirements that must be followed in order to use infidelity as a basis by which to deny alimony payments, and even then, it must be determined and decided by the court. The parties' behavior toward each other can also be a factor in determining alimony. A very badly misbehaving spouse who's in the position to pay alimony could conceivably pay quite a bit of alimony if they had the ability, and if their behavior toward their spouse was so egregious that their spouse had no choice but to end the marriage. Similarly, a very badly behaving spouse who is asking for alimony may end up with much less as a result of their behavior if that behavior is what ended the marriage. Speak with a sharp, experienced divorce attorney if you're facing a case involving alimony, regardless of whether you be the party paying the alimony or the party receiving alimony. You don't want to make any mistakes about something this important. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to click subscribe, like, follow, and turn on the alerts so that you'll get notified when we post our newest videos. Please share these videos and leave us some comments, ask us questions, and tell us what other topics you'd like for me to talk about. Join our Facebook group at Georgia Divorce and Custody for even more information. And as always, I look forward to seeing you on the next video.